Live and Rock is brought to you in part by ShifterMagazine.com, your source for entertainment news, reviews, and interviews. Plus, amazing resources and how-tos for the independent artists in you. Check them out at ShifterMagazine.com. It's another episode of Live and Rock. That's right. Creative show for creative souls.
Most artists cannot be comfortable stuck in one box.
That's right. And that's what this podcast is about. It's not just filmmaking, but creative pursuits in general.
The creative life, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whether it's painting, illustrating,
photography,
dancing, whatever it is.
Make some noise, rock the world before your time runs out. Let them know what you're about and just make some noise, rock the world. No matter what your game, make sure the whole world remembers your name. Make some noise, rock the world before my time runs out. You know what I'm about, I'ma make some noise, rock the world.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 24 of Live and Rock.
Rockin' live.
Indeed. I am one of your two hosts. My name is CDH Live.
Yep.
The mild-mannered poet. And my co-host, the other voice on the mic,
Mr. H.S. Lee, a.k.a. Shall Rock for the purposes of this show.
Yeah. Well, we're at episode 24, 2 episodes away from our 1-year anniversary.
Word.
Welcome to everybody who's listening for the first time, and welcome back to our long-time listeners.
Yeah, and what about our first time?
We're getting there. This is a creative show for creative souls. We're here to give insight to the creative life.
Okay.
Pull back the curtain and let you see behind the scenes.
Yes, and I'm itching for you to pull back the curtain on this intro.
All right. So
what's going on behind the scenes?
Go ahead and unveil what we got on deck for episode 24.
Today on the episode, we also have for the first time in a minute a guest hanging out with us live in the studio. Can you say what's up, Live and Rock?
What's up, Live and Rock?
Word, and that beautiful toned voice you hear in the background is none other than Ms. Nicole Robinson, a.k.a. The Diva, according to her stage name in the musical The Gig. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm excited because, Nicole, it's been a long time since it's coming.
So excited.
I am very excited. You're not excited to be on Live and Rock? I'm
very excited to be a part of Live and Rock.
Word.
Finally.
Word.
Yeah, finally, she says.
Hey, I'm going to put it out there officially for the record. It has nothing to do with me why it's finally. Because I've been trying to get it done for quite some time. In fact, I would say it's probably more the responsibility of my co-host, Mr. CDH Live.
We will get into that in just a little bit. We'll
Let's
get
move
into
it
that.
along, then.
We'll share our suit up for our creators and shifters out there who need tools to embark on the next level of their journey. And later on, of course, you got the updates and the continuing journey of Live and Rock on our major goals for the next year. So why don't we take a little bit of a TV timeout?
I hear you.
And then we can start getting into this conversation with our beautiful guest, Nicole.
Our beautiful guest, Nicole. We are going to take a quick TV timeout, but I just realized, who is Nicole other than the Diva? We should probably introduce her properly.
Yeah, so let's take that TV timeout, and then we'll introduce her. I'll let you do the honors of introducing her.
That
formally.
Sounds like a good plan. Any shout-outs before we do that, my man?
Shout out Milo Flex. Shout out Stubbs. Shout out my peeps at Shifter Magazine.
Word.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out TK or TK. I think that's TK. That's her name. And I want to shout out Mr. Brickley.
Yeah,
our homeboy.
Shout out Queen B, as in Beyonce, because she just dropped something incredible. But let's take our TV timeout, and then we'll get into conversation. Otherwise, we won't take a timeout.
Okay. So, TV timeout, and we'll be back on the other side on episode 24 of Live and Rock.
Rockin' live.
Yeah. Remember. Fame. Phew.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to
No
ruin your
apologies
nostalgic
needed.
memories of such a wicked show. You remember that one, NAH?
Very much remember that one. That
Oh, yeah?
one's like, that was a goal of mine to go to a Fame high school.
Word, yo. Okay, you're
Yeah.
talking my language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
you just-
I remember that growing up, thinking
Yeah.
the same thing. I was like, yeah, man. In fact, when I went to high school, that's exactly what it felt like for me.
True indeed. And I noticed you just said NAH, and
Yes.
now's the perfect time to give that formal introduction. we
Okay,
were
so
talking
speaking of NAH having dreams of having fame on stage, so I'm gonna read your resume as it shows up on the website. Nicole Robinson, aka the Diva. Nicole began her musical studies in opera at the Royal Conservatory of Music. She tours and performs with the University of Toronto Gospel Choir and sings with the acclaimed artists Tanika Charles and Zaki Ibrahim. I don't think I pronounced that right. Ibrahim. Nice. And Nicole also adds songwriter to her list of achievements. The gig producer, Craig Martin, hired Nicole without having even met her. And this is a direct quote from the man himself. She sent me an MP3, and as soon as I heard her voice, I knew I had found the diva. That is some pretty big accolade / praise to be hired just like that.
Yeah, that's really nice. I never actually seen this
Word?
part of the site before. Yeah, that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I sent him some music and a headshot, and that was it. He was just like, okay, we rehearse on Monday. See you then.
I want us to get into more of the story of this experience you've had on this musical gig that was playing in Toronto, I guess, about a month ago. It was in March, right?
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March?
That's
Okay,
right.
yeah. So I want to get more into the story because it's a pretty fascinating. Well, it's a very intriguing story for me,
Yeah.
both because I have insight to it because you're part of the family. So it's
Yeah.
also, but we're gonna talk a little bit more about what we're feeling as well in general, all of us, because this
Yeah.
is the what you feeling section of Live and Rock.
Yeah.
And CDH, you're looking at me. What?
No, I'm just saying, yeah.
Okay.
I'm interested a little bit more on just kind of opening up how we feel about this, this sort of milestone occasion in terms of having Nicole here.
True.
And why we've wanted to have this episode for so long. And then find out, from Nicole, what are you thinking about being here? What in other words, do you feel like this is
Well,
just
part of
nice or
I'm gonna kind of throw you under the bus, Nicole, because I know that part of the reason you didn't want to do the show before was because you were kind of nervous. True or no?
Not really. Well, I didn't mind being on the podcast. I just didn't want to be on any camera.
okay.
Which is ironic for someone who just willingly threw themselves center stage as a lead cast member of a musical in front of, I don't know, hundreds of people, thousands of people for a few weeks or a week.
That's different.
How is that different?
How does it feel now, just as an audio thing that we're doing here?
It's cool.
Okay,
It's comfortable, and
good. I like to hear that.
So, getting back to what we're feeling. So, like, part of the reason why Nicole is here is because what I'm feeling is the fact that someone I personally know who have talked to and shared stories as independent artists to independent artists growing up and trying to pursue our careers, you finally got a taste of that life, so to speak. Doing gig, and we mentioned and we've been focusing mostly on gig, but you also do a lot of other things and have been doing other things, including being a long-time makeup artist.
Yep.
You've had you also have other talents in the area of, I guess, you have a website called NA Knits.
Yep, I make scarves. I crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of on my downtime when there's no makeup and there's no music. There's a crochet needle and some yarn, and I make some things.
Yeah, you make it sound so humble. But if you look at her website, which we will talk about a little bit later, the NA Knits website, I mean, these it's very diva-ish, actually, if I could say so. Like the website and the knits that you make, the scarves and the clutches, and they're fashion forward. They're hot.
Yes.
To me, as someone who doesn't really know much, looking at it, it looks very high fashion.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
So
I like that you said that.
I don't know if Mr. Craig Martin was, being prophetic, or he just heard your voice and it just oozed with that. But yeah, casting you as the diva seemed like the exact right role for you.
Well, the funny thing is that I'm very much not the diva, especially in the cast. I was, it was said very many times that I'm the least diva of the cast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, like I was saying, just the fact that, you've been doing your NA knits, you do other stuff, the makeup, and you've been singing quite a long time, been in the recording business, doing it for years. Here in the T, or as they call it, the 6 now.
T.O.
Yeah.
Old school.
So yeah, it's good to see you get on something major like this. And I'm just curious about like how the experience was,
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. I'm also thinking just, how you feel at this stage of your journey as an artist. Having done so many diverse expressions and getting an experience like this, does it, how do you feel about it for the impact it may have on your decisions in future?
Yeah, it was a really, really cool experience. It's one of those things where as a singer, as a freelance artist in anything that I do, whether it be makeup or music, in both cases, it's kind of like luck of the draw. Like you really see it. It's really, how you hear the old cliche, it's who you know.
Yeah.
It really is who you know. I got this opportunity from someone who one of the girls that I sing backup for got me into a band. And when we did a New Year's Eve show, one of the girls that's in the band told Craig about me. So that's how I even got a hold of this opportunity.
And it's literally just like a one night gig that you were doing this band thing.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, the Big Sound New Year's Eve show.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Rang in the new year.
Rang in the new year in 2016.
Yeah.
Came in and showed itself.
You see how one little thing, as we're independent artists, like one little thing can lead to bigger and better. It's like a domino effect. Yeah.
And speaking of that, was there any moment where you hesitated on doing the New Year's Eve show?
Oh yeah. Anything that has me as a singer by myself, I hesitate on. I almost have to force myself to take the job. But New Year's Eve and the production of Gig, both the same thing, where I nearly talked myself out of doing them.
Wow.
Actually, I was going to ask you about that. That was something I was wondering. The fact that you've been doing mostly background stuff, and now you kind of just thrust into the forefront with something like this. Did it, like, for you, did it confirm your feelings of wanting to stay in the background, or did it like spark something now, make you want to be like, okay, I want to put some more effort into,
Well, I haven't always wanted to stay in the background. I've always wanted to sing. However that came about, I was open and pretty much willing. I went to School of the Arts, and I've been doing music theater for pretty much a good part of my life. And I had been auditioning and, doing little shows here and there. And nothing kind of panned out. And then the audition process just got a little bit too much for me. And then I did a concert of my own.
Yeah.
And then after that concert, it was such a bad experience. I just stopped singing altogether. And then It took quite a while for me to get back.
Are we talking like
music.
Months, weeks,
Nope, we're
years?
talking years.
Decades even?
Nope, years. Yeah, maybe about 4 years, I would say. I stopped singing, and then it was just time, and you just feel like it's time, and then just things started happening. I got a call from Motion to audition for Tanika to sing backup. I started singing backup for Tanika, and then through Tanika, her manager at the time, Eloquence, asked me to sing for another artist, Zaki, and 3 years later, I'm still with them. So it's been good. And then, like I said before, it's through Tanika that I got this gig with the Big Sound and started, singing again for myself. But it was definitely a great transition. Like, it was a great way to sort of get back in.
It's kind of like
comfortable.
Baby
Steps. Baby steps. Yeah.
You mentioned Motion in that little story, and a couple other, I guess, Toronto
name drops.
Yeah. And we go way back still, in the Toronto scene.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting how you mentioned those names. It's like back in the days, we never thought Toronto would get as big as it did is right now in the music scene.
Yeah.
Particularly, I'm thinking of how what's his name, Drake.
Yeah,
is kind of taking over the world.
Toronto on the map.
Yeah, he just dropped his new album, which has been nothing but that at work. They've been killing me with for the last 48 hours. But
he's got some pushers out there.
Yeah, everybody wants to give Drake a chance.
Yeah. I mean, well, anyways,
we could have a full discussion about that.
Where I was going with that actually was the fact that it's interesting that you mentioned some Toronto people, but who else? Do any of those? Are there, first of all, any Toronto artists in general that motivate you or make you get inspired to go for it right now? Past or present, actually, doesn't really matter. I mean, Drake is easy to say because he's the biggest right now, but are there any other actually more influential artists or people who you've worked with in Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, I've been so lucky to have had the opportunity to work with so many of Toronto's finest, seen and unseen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I take motivation from performance mainly.
Yeah.
More so than individual artists. Some artists that one artist in particular that I can say that I watch very intently and I love her performances. She's now called Sate, Saida, who's now known as Sate. I just watch her performance and the passion in her performance mainly, and the music that is just so true and so soulful and so rocking at the same time. And I just she's definitely she's definitely one of my one of the people that I look to. Also, Natasha Waterman is
right.
She's another from back in the day that I just had the opportunity. I did a show with her. I did backup for her a couple days ago, and I was saying to her, I was like, from I'm 17, I'm like looking at this girl and watching her perform, and never would have thought that here we are having a chat. Sharing the stage. It's really cool. Yeah.
Have you? Sorry, I don't mean to monopolize.
Go ahead. Do your thing, man. Go ahead.
The more you talk, it sparks questions. So it just reminded me, mentioning all these female Toronto artists. Have you ever did back in the days? They have an annual thing called Honey Jam here in Toronto.
Yeah,
for our international listeners. Some people have passed through Honey Jam. What's her name? Nelly Furtado.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was discovered there, but she definitely, before she was big, she used to showcase her stuff there. A lot of other artists. Have
Keisha
you ever
Cole
done
go through there?
Who?
Keisha Cole.
Keisha Cole. I don't know for sure if she went through there.
Okay.
But I mean, Missy Me, obviously. I think Missy Me kind of founded Honey Jam. Was she part of that, or Emotion?
No, Honey Jam, I believe, was founded by Ebony Rowe and Femme Fat Productions.
Okay.
She's she's actually also from, back in the day, one of the ones that sort of has kept, especially specifically females, the talent, Toronto female talent at the forefront. She's been kind of been the one to showcase us.
Yes. So have you ever done?
I have. I did. Okay. I did. I think the first and second. Honey Jam, okay. And then she also had like a smaller one that was called Brown Girls in the Ring that I did as well.
And when you did those,
way back,
were you doing those like
solo?
Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, I was a solo artist.
Okay,
I was. Yeah.
I feel like I want to, because of what I know, I want to ask about how else have you been connected to Honey Jam?
How else?
Yeah, have you done any other kind of work?
He hints heavily. I still don't know what you're referring to. You should just say.
Just say it. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm very intrigued right now.
Ebony Rowe, have you done any work with her?
I did her makeup. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I mean that's significant too, no?
Yeah, I mean I did her makeup for a couple times. I've done her makeup.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, who is Ebony Rowe for the uninitiated like myself?
Ebony Rowe. Google her. Google FemFat. Google Honey Jam. You'll learn.
See, it's interesting because you're very just like cool, smooth with your responses, but you're like, oh yeah, I did makeup for her. A lot of people don't realize how many accolades you have as a makeup artist. How do you feel about that in comparison to your singing or music career?
It's interesting. It's like I kind of fell into makeup. Makeup is something that I'm good at, and I'm able to do it. And I'm also very lucky to be able to do it as an artist. Like I don't have to rely on sitting at a desk 9 to 5.
Right.
I'm able to be creative in my time when I'm not singing, when there's no music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm lucky at that. But I forget your question.
Just curious about how you feel about the balance between the two. Do you ever feel like you would miss it if you didn't get to do it for an extended amount of time? I feel like the makeup is something that I'll always be able to do, because you can always there's always going to be a girlfriend or someone wanting to get their face done for going out, or there's always going to be someone getting married. So that's something that I'll always be able to do. But as far as the balance, like I usually tell people that makeup is how I pay for what I need to pay for, and music is how I feed my passion. And my soul. And I'm trying to work hard at flipping it so that music is
I like the fact that you brought up the multiple interests, even though one is more of a passion than the other one is. But just the fact that you have multiple interests, it's a common trait for many creatives, it's not all. And that's what's the biggest through ongoing storyline of Live and Rock the Show. We're about talking to and empowering and inspiring and just politicking with other creatives who do multiple things and talking about those issues that we face. So you have multiple interests, but it doesn't end there. You also have NA Knits, which is the new, I would say, new thing that you've done.
That's the newest thing.
The newest thing, right?
Yeah.
So where does that lie? I mean, you say the makeup pays the bills, so to speak, day to day. The music is the I guess golden dream. So where does NA Knits fit in that?
I guess the NA Knits part is just a good way to be creative with my hands, I guess. I guess makeup is with my hands.
Would you say you're as passionate about the knits as you are the makeup? Because it seems, the reason I'm asking is because, again, I look at the website and I look at the pieces, yes, and it looks like a lot of passion is definitely put into these. Like,
well, definitely a lot of
you
time.
put a lot of effort into displaying them and making sure that the website looks like yeah, this doesn't look like something you're just doing for fun. It looks like you really enjoy this.
Yeah,
and
I really enjoy it. It's great. The crocheting is great
Yeah.
downtime, and lots of Netflix is taken in during the winter. But
Word.
it's just a great way because in the winter for both with both of my backup jobs as well as makeup, it's
Yes.
like a slower time.
Right.
So in the meantime, again, doing my best to stay out of an office.
Yeah, I feel you.
I decided to make some things, and I came up with what I think is a pretty cool design that
Yes.
people have responded well to, called the boa.
Yes.
And, people are loving that, and,
It is super unique.
look out next winter.
Yes, it's super unique, and I want our listeners to check it out. We'll put it on at the end of the show again, but it's NicoleAntoinette.com, and it's NA Knits, and they are super unique. And I could tell you from personal experience that women are liking it. They are digging it as a high fashion knit accessory. I personally can attest to people at my work looking at your website and looking at your knits and being like, yeah, those are really, like, they're asking my brother here, CDH Live, about it.
That's
they're like,
nice.
they want it. Like, yeah.
What about you? Have you worn any?
Well, I have
yeah.
I have the piece that you gave me a couple of years back.
Sorry, I don't know if our listening audience knows what your relation is, because you keep saying we go way back.
Me and Nicole Robinson.
Yeah.
Well, she's my sister-in-law, for those who are not understanding. For that matter, I guess we didn't really officially say, yeah. So Nicole Robinson is also AKA Mrs. Live, CDH Live.
Who's that? Yeah.
Yes. So this is a family affair going on right now. So that's why I can speak with some insight to the fact that, yeah, Craig has shown your pieces and your website to the girls at work, and these girls
Not just
at work.
for the girls, though. The men look fly.
Well,
True,
the
but-
truth be told, the only reason, I shouldn't say the only reason, but one of the main reasons that I was able to show it to them is because they asked about what I was wearing. Because
Okay.
I wear exclusively NA knits.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. See, good job. Eh?
and yeah, literally
well done,
every
babe.
every time I wear one, especially when it's a new design,
Yeah.
I always get comments,
Yeah.
admiration, questions about where it's from, so on.
I like the fact that they're super original too. Like the design, the idea is really original. I can't do any justice to describe it, so I just want our folks to go online again, NicoleAntoinette.com, NA Knits. But before we run out of time and need to get into our suit up section, one last thing, you mentioned like Netflix. I mean, that's another thing about Live and Rock. It's all about what inspires us while we're chasing our dream, while we're doing our creative pursuits, as you so perfectly demonstrated with your description of sitting on the couch doing your NA knits, but at the same time taking in some Netflix.
Yeah.
What inspires you, or what kind of shows or things are you binge watching on Netflix these days, or in the past winter?
Or anything outside of Netflix.
Yeah, streaming, whatever. Yeah.
Well, right now, what has definitely changed my life is that Lemonade.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's great, because I actually wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill two birds with one stone here.
Wow.
I haven't had a chance to hear it at all. I tried to Google it, or whatever you call it. Look it
No,
up.
you gotta buy
You
it.
have to buy it. It's the only
Yeah.
way. Or
You
Apple
can watch
Music.
it here.
Is it on Apple Music? I'm asking CDH because you're like the Apple Music expert around here.
No. We have it, so I don't know if you, as a subscriber to Apple Music, I think you have access to the album. But
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, could you hear it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
You could hear it, but I don't know if you can see the video.
Oh, the
It's
video
visual.
version, the video album. Right.
Yeah, changed my life.
Word?
Word.
That's
Word.
what I wanted to ask you, because
Yeah.
you're a singer, a female, so you are the perfect demographic to get feedback. So, talk to me.
I'm a singer, but I'm a creative.
Okay.
Not every musician is a creative. Some people just
right.
sing. Some people just play. I'm a creative. There's a vision there, and to see, Craig and I actually were talking about this right
Yes.
after we watched it, and to to be able to have the outlet,
yes,
the money, the support,
the resources,
everything, to be able to take whatever it is in your head and actually put it to screen is amazing. And she did an impeccable job. She is like, if she didn't put herself on the map in the last surprise album, then she's definitely there now. This was a phenomenal project.
I'm definitely interested to see it because everyone's talking about it. Like the podcast that I listen to, the Pop Culture Podcast, obviously when it dropped, they were all talking about it. And historically, or literally right now, period, in general, I'm not a Beyonce fan at all. No, you know, I'm actually probably I'm on her hater list, if anything.
Okay,
real talks.
I'm glad you know that's what it is, though, that you're hating.
Whatever. But just the fact that it's getting all this buzz, like I want to see, like, you know, like is it really worth
it's absolutely worth.
And as you said, from the creator perspective, because it's something new and original, like a you know, a visual video album, whatever you want to call it. Like it's definitely something I'm interested in taking in.
Like I have to say, I mean, we watched it together twice.
Okay.
And the second time was because I was like, "You want to watch it again?"
Whoa, that's serious.
That's how you know Craig is not into Beyonce at all. But
but
you took in this
epic
project.
It's fine art, and at the same time, it's pop, and at the same time, it's hip hop. And at the same time, is real.
It's blues and it's country.
It's just kind of like what we were talking about a few episodes back with the whole pushing the envelope with Hamilton with the musical and the
I would love to see that.
And even bringing the conversation full circle, even with the musical you were in, Miss Nicole,
Gig too.
Is similar again, like very envelope pushing, very visionary. It was a musical, but it was very, from what I heard, very interactive.
Yeah, it was interactive, and actually it started out as a TV script.
Okay.
Craig Martin had written it, and it was as a pilot, and I think he had a couple of episodes completed, and for whatever reason that didn't happen, and he wrote music and put it to the stage, and it was a great time.
You got to roll with the punches, stick and move. They give you lemons, you turn them into lemonade. Absolutely. Right? There's so much more I'd love to talk about, but we got to get the show moving.
I'm definitely interested to get your review or response after you watch the Lemonade
for sure.
film.
Maybe I'll have to, by the next episode, I'll try and get that in, and then we can talk about that.
Yeah, actually, that should be your whole episode.
Yeah, really?
It should be.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it will be. It needs to be, There's not enough time to, you know.
Speaking of not enough time, there's not enough time to get everything I want from you. I even want to ask you about just the experience of acting, because that's a whole other different aspect.
Yeah.
I just wanted to figure out, like, you know, how was that like? Did it make you want to consider now doing more acting? And,
it was very interesting, and I was actually surprised at my own reaction to it, because I had grown up studying the theater. I went to Etobicoke School of the Arts, and I did music theater there, and then I went to college, Algonquin College in Ottawa, and did theater there. So I've been, and then I came back home to Toronto and just was on many auditions, but
so were any of those... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, coming back and just doing strictly music and then going to the stage, which is where I wanted to be my whole life anyway, and then the acting. Luckily, the part was not... It wasn't a strenuous part. There weren't a lot of lines, and it was mainly the singing and the reaction from the diva. But it was interesting. It took a little bit of extra work to go outside of myself.
Especially when you haven't done it in so long.
Because I haven't done it in so long.
And not only that, you had to do it in a very short, unprepared, like it just dropped on you. It wasn't something you were, planning to do for years or months. It just kind of dropped in your lap.
I have a couple of friends who know me as a singer. Who were surprised. And pleasantly, they said, I hope, that the acting was good, that they were shocked to see me like that, I guess.
So hopefully we'll see you on a stage or a screen near you.
Yeah, hopefully.
The proverbial you, online you, the world at large. They will see you sometime soon. And more importantly, I hope you'll be back with us very soon.
I'll be back for that Beyonce episode. No problem.
Yeah. But in the meantime, until then, where can they find you again to help you pursue your passion by helping you in a practical way? What's your website again?
My website is NicoleAntionette.com.
And that's spelled
Nicole. Nicole is Nicole, and Antionette is ANTIONETTE.
Cannot stress that enough. It's I-O because
Antoinette, Antionette.
That's right. If you type in the other way, you will literally get a completely different website with another girl who you probably
Antoinette.
could easily mistake because the website is but it's ANTIONETTE. And if in doubt, just it's NA Knits is the name of the product.
Yeah, there's a Facebook page, Facebook shop, NA Knits.
Yes. So we're gonna we're not gonna take a break. We're gonna do our suit up section. Speaking of, helping out artists in a practical way, not only can you help Nicole, but we're going to help you in pursuing what you do as we get into our suit up section on Live and Rock, which is brought to you by
shiftermagazine.com.
That's right. And it's the online magazine source for pretty much anything if you're an independent artist, entertainment news,
interviews, articles, how-tos, profiles, event reviews.
Yes. And they are also from here in Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
To our international listeners. But yes, without further ado, let's get into our suit up section on episode 24 of Live and Rock. Rockin' Live.